Hello there guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and on this video this afternoon there is lots to negotiate about. So let's delve straight into the topic. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba. Then a bit later on in the video I am going to be talking with you about Dayot Upamecano from RP Lesby, because a bit more additional information is updated about him. Then a bit later on I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. So there's quite a few topics to get into. So I am going to start with the news on Paul Pogba. So according to recent reports, Zinedine Zidane wants Paul Pogba because Real Madrid have identified Paul Pogba as their number one priority target for when the transfer market does reopen. Now, Real Madrid, of course, have got a few other midfielders on their agenda. I think I heard recent reports saying that Real Madrid were interested in Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes, but Paul Pogba is their number one priority target. Now, of course, revert back to last summer. Paul Pogba's preference was to make a move to Real Madrid, and don't forget last summer Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid, about his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. Now, like I've said to you before, the main explanation why Paul Pogba's move to Real Madrid last summer didn't materialise was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because last summer we wanted £180 million. We was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016. So we did remain ruthless over our valuation, but Real Madrid were not willing to meet our £180 million asking price. But Paul Pogba, has got the same perception now as he had last summer. He still wants to leave Manchester United, because last summer he said he was seeking for a new challenge, and he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. Now, like I've said to Paul Pogba's got a good relationship with Zinedine Zidane. Also to his agent Mini Raiola, like I've mentioned before, he's got a good relation with Real Madrid, and he has been talking a lot since the turn of the year. And reflecting on some of his comments, Mini Raiola, Manchester United have been very, very critical of him. But I think at least in the last couple of years, Mini Raiola has been trying to get his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed and that. But we have been very, very critical of him. And Ed Woodward's had some negotiations with Mini Raiola to try and resolve Paul Pogba's future at the football club. Now, Real Madrid, did recruit around 6 players in last summer, and spent was it in the 200 odd or 300 odd million pound range on them players. They got Eden Hazard in, they got Luka Jovic in, who they're not happy with. I think that's one of the players Real Madrid do want to offload. Also too, they got Eden Militao in from Porto, they got Ferland Mendy in, they got Rodrigo. So they recruited a good 5 or 6 players in last summer. Don't forget, Real Madrid also want to offload players when the transfer market reopens. Of course, they want to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. They want to get rid of Gareth Bale because he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. They also want to get rid of James Rodriguez. You've got Karim Benzema, that's coming to an end of his career. So Real Madrid, do want to offload quite a few of their players. But I did say, didn't I, if Paul Pogba was to leave Manchester United, I think he'll go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, I think he will make a return back to Juventus, because there has been a lot of narratives in the mainstream media saying that he could make a return to Juventus, because Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison. So let's just put that into the equation. But yeah, and also, like I said to you on my video that I did yesterday night, it's also been stemming from Sky Sports, by the way, and Sky Sports is a very reliable source, and they have said, that Manchester United are determined to sell Paul Pogba when the transfer market reopens, and I think we're willing to accept £72 million for him. I think around £72 million. So that's around £17 million less than what we paid for him, because we paid £89 million to him from Juventus back in 2016. So as it stands at the moment, Pogba is our most expensive signing. But these reports have been stemming from the French press today, and they've said that Zinedine Zidane wants Paul Pogba. But this is actually totally contrast to what was coming out recently, because I think I said it to you yesterday that actually Real Madrid had dropped their interest in Paul Pogba because they had turned their attentions on other midfielders. I think also too last summer Real Madrid tried offering James Rodriguez plus £40 million for Paul Pogba, but we did not accept that. But these aren't only Real Madrid and Juventus that have been in for him. Don't forget yesterday there was quite a few media outlets, and this was stemming from 2 Sport, and they've said that Inter Milan have expressed their interest in Paul Pogba. Now I'm very, very sceptical he'll go to Inter Milan, even though he has played in Italy before. Now, of course, Inter Milan have obviously bought 3 players already off us. Of course, don't forget they got Ashley Young offers this year after he endured 8.5 years at Manchester United. I think they paid just over £1 million for Ashley Young. They also too got Romelu Lukaku offers last summer for around £72 million, and last summer they got Alexis Sanchez offers on loan. They got Sanchez off us on loan. So yeah, he reportedly said they've expressed an interest in Paul Pogba. Now Inter Milan I think are planning to offload Mario Icardi on a permanent basis. Mario Icardi I think at the moment is on loan with PSG, and I think Inter Milan have said they want around £62 million to offload him permanently. So if they can offload him permanently, then they'll plan to try and get Pogba with the money they generate for Mario Icardi's departure. But I can't see Paul Pogba going to Inter Milan. Also too, PSG have inquired about his availability in the past. Like I said, PSG would probably have to offload either Neymar or Mbappe, to fund the move for Pogba, because Neymar and Mbappe are the 2 most expensive players in the world. And Barcelona have inquired about his availability before. But, Paul Pogba, could still stay at Manchester United for another year at least. You just don't know, do you? Because I think it was a Spanish expert, he came out earlier on this week, and he said that, Paul Pogba is expected to sign a new long-term contract with Man United. Obviously, as it's been confirmed, we have not decided to trigger that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract. So that means now Pogba's only got exactly a year remaining on his Manchester United contract. But if Paul Pogba was to sign a new long-term contract at the football club, he'd demand a huge pay rise. And he's one of the highest paid players at the club at the moment, because I think he's on like £300,000 a week is Paul Pogba. He's on like £300,000 a week and stuff like that. But yeah, we haven't triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, and I think we have been in negotiations over possibly getting Paul Pogba a new contract at the football club. Now, Paul Pogba's appearances have been limited this season. He has only played 8 times for the football club due to his injuries. I think he did have the surgery on his ankle back in January, did Paul Pogba. But the positive news is when football does eventually resume, it's unknown at the moment when it's going to resume, Paul Pogba will be back fit, and also too Marcus Rashford will be, because like I mentioned before, Rashford and Pogba have been big misses this season for Manchester United. But Pogba hasn't played since Boxing Day, and Pogba recently gave an interview to the United podcast, talking about the issues that he's had with injuries, and it's really, really infuriated him. Obviously, don't forget, recently he responded to the criticism that he has received from Graham Souness. He also revealed he was an Arsenal fan when he was a lot younger. He revealed this the other week. So he said quite a few interesting stuff to the United podcast. But Pogba insists he will be much stronger when he does return. And I think, Paul Pogba, can play alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because I'm excited about the prospects of them playing together in our midfield. I think Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes playing in our midfield, obviously you'd have Bruno Fernandes in the number 10, and of course you'd have Paul Pogba as a number 6, more than likely. But Pogba is aware of the impact that Bruno Fernandes has made, because like I've said before, Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. So Paul Pogba is aware of that. But obviously, was it a month or so ago? This was obviously, before all the football was suspended. Obviously, Solsjaker had come out in Austria, and he said that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. Paul Pogba said himself last month that he was interested in staying at the football club, and he was interested in extending his contract at Manchester United. So that's another thing he came out with. Don't forget, recently Alan Shearer's given his verdict on the Paul Pogba saga. And actually, Alan Shearer does believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made a decision on Paul Pogba's future. And Shearer believes that Paul Pogba will leave Manchester United, when the transfer market does reopen. Because there's been a few midfielders on our agenda that could replace Paul Pogba at the football club. Now, don't forget, he said his mother and his brother advised him to leave Manchester United for Juventus when he was younger, because don't forget, he left us back in 2012, and then he went and enjoyed 4 years with Juventus. We let him go on a free transfer because we had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era, but the main explanation why we had to let him go was due to limited appearances. Also, too, Pogba enjoyed a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, had a really, really bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. So it still remains unknown, whether he's going or whether he's going to be staying. Some Man United fans think he'll stay at least for another season, or some United fans, think he will just go in the summer. If we had to give him a new long-term contract, then he would be here for the foreseeable future. If he was just to be here for another season, and obviously, it wouldn't be the foreseeable future. But I don't know, to be quite honest with you. But since he rejoined the club, he's just had a long-running transfer saga. So yeah, could be going to Real Madrid. It could Paul Pogba. He's 27 years of age. Still got a hell of a lot of development in him yet. Still very, very young is the player. But yeah, so that's the breaking news on Paul Pogba. I just wanted to, confirm with you. Now let's delve into the news on Dayot Upamecano from RP Leipzig. So the news is on Upamecano is that it said 5 years ago, this was back under Louis van Gaal era, we failed to sign the Dayot Upamecano on a 3 transfer, and it actually said around, was it 5 years ago, that Dayot Upamecano had visited our training ground, because we... So yeah, it did say around 5 years ago that we'd visited, he'd visited our training ground. We'd have talks over the move. This is what it had said to Manchester United. So I've been reading recent reports regarding Dayot Upamecano, and it says, that we've expressed an interest in the player. He's rated at around £50 million. I think it did say, we're ahead of Arsenal in the race for the player, and he is value. Well, I think he said he's available for like £35 million or something like that. Currently plays for RP Leipzig, like I mentioned. Arsenal have been relentlessly linked with the player. Of course, Arsenal looking for someone to partner up with William Saliba in their back line, because Arsenal are in search for a centre-half. I think up to 6 clubs are in for Dayot Upamecano. It says, City are in for him. City, have got quite a few centre-halves. They're looking for someone to partner up alongside Laporte in their back line. Laporte's had, I think he's been injured for the vast majority of this season and that. Dayot Upamecano now, I think, is into his 3rd season with RP Leipzig, and I think he's made over 100 appearances in all competitions, and 70 odd of those appearances have come in the Bundesliga. He's only at the age of 21. But yeah, Dayot Upamecano's got a release clause of around £50 million. And I think, RP Leipzig paid around €10 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. But like I mentioned, we are interested in him, and it was a shame that we didn't get him 5 years ago for free. But I'm very sceptical that Manchester United will sign a centre-half when the transfer market does reopen. I'm just very, very sceptical of it, and it would be beneficial if we could get a centre-half and, someone to go alongside Maguire and Victor Lindelof in our back line. But we've got too many centre-halves in the team. Like I said, you've got Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backups. You've obviously got Phil Jones, that's like our 5th-choice centre-half. You've got Rojo, he's our 6th-choice centre-half. He's out on loan at the moment. I think we're going to get rid of him permanently. You've got Smalling, he's out on loan at the moment. You know, he won't be coming back, I don't think. You've got Fossil Mentu that can play as a centre-half, and there's been a few centre-halves on our agenda, but I just can't see us signing Dayot, Upamecano. You know, there's been Koulibaly also on our agenda. There's been talks of Dayot, you know, possibly coming, but I just can't see, you know, Manchester United signing a centre-half when the transfer market reopens, because there's other areas in the squad that are more of a priority than, you know, that central defensive area. I think it's very imperative that we get a central midfielder in when the transfer market reopens. It's very imperative that we get a right winger in, and we also do want to recommend a centre forward in. But Solskjaer's already identified the areas, you know, where he does want to strengthen up. And Solskjaer's already confirmed that he wants to make around 4 signings when the transfer market reopens, because he believes we need around 4 signings to become title contenders next season. This is, you know, what Solskjaer does believe. And don't forget, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And a lot of people are very, very happy with his transfer strategy. So let's just put that into the equation. But so that's, you know, that's the news on Pogba. That's the news on Dayot Upamecano. Obviously, you know, earlier on today, I give you, obviously, you know, the news, you know, on Thomas Partey, you know, being linked with Arsenal. That video is now uploading. I also spoken with you about Jadon Sancho, because, you know, we've been relentlessly linked with Jadon Sancho. Reports have been coming out recently saying that Borussia Dortmund are convinced, they believe that they can convince Jadon Sancho to stay at Borussia Dortmund by offering him a new 1-year contract worth around £9 million a year. That would make Jadon Sancho the second highest paid player at Borussia Dortmund, just behind Marco Reus. Now, Jadon Sancho is one of our priority targets. He said on Monday, this was stemming from The Sun, and I know The Sun's not a reliable source, but they said that Manchester United have reached an agreement with Sancho. He said everything had been agreed except the fee. So he said the contracts, the salary, the bonuses and the huge buyout clause had been agreed except the fee. But now recently it come out from the German press, and they said that Manchester United have not secured an agreement with Jadon Sancho, and we haven't had any further negotiations over signing the player. So possibly, no, Jadon Sancho could end up staying at Borussia Dortmund, believe it or not. Obviously, early on today, I give you the news regarding Marcus Rashford. A lot of positivity is coming out regarding Rashford, because he says when the season does eventually resume, Rashford will be back fully fit, which is very, very good, because Rashford has been out with a back injury since January. And like I said, you know, Rashford is one of our best players, and he was one of our best players earlier on in the season. I think Rashford will play as a number 9. Well, sorry, he'll play out wide. He can play as a number 9, but I think when he comes back, he will play out wide, because that, you know, he's more effective from that wide position. You know, he scores most of his goals from that wide position. Have you noticed? You know, but yeah, so positivity, you know, has been coming out regarding Marcus Rashford. By the way, Kieran McKenna, he's planning on the squad returning to first team training in May. So that's also, you know, very, very good news. That's providing if the lockdown is eased up. But it still remains uncertain, you know, when the football season is going to resume. And that's the news on that. And obviously as well, earlier on today, I give you the news on Jack Grealish, didn't I? Man United have got a controversial plan, and that's to play Jack Grealish as a right winner if we can sign him from Villa, you know, when the transfer market does reopen. He's predominantly an attacking mid, but there again, he's played on the left wing for the vast majority of this season. But yeah, let's delve into news now on Solskjaer. So I think, you know, the board have got to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, in the summer transfer market. Obviously, you know, Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. But the board, you know, definitely, you know, do need to back him, because some people still believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man to, you know, elevate Manchester United forward and get us back, you know, to being a competitive elite level football club. Now, of course, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for 16 months, so he has been at the football club over a year. And I think he's been permanent Manchester United manager now for over a year, but in total, he has been here for 16 months. So far, Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club, and spent £220 million on 5 players. So I've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so far for the players that he has recommended in to the football club. Now, I do like what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said a couple of weeks ago, because he did say we will exploit the transfer market when it does reopen. So what he means is he believes, we can get the right calibre players in, because he knows a lot of teams are under financial pressure, including us. A lot of teams are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus pandemic, so teams will have to sell some of their players to generate money and stuff like that. And I think, to be honest with you, I'm going to make an admission. I think, we've actually, really, really improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. What I mean is, I think, we have been a bit more sensible with our recruitment. To be quite honest, we have been a bit more sensible with our recruitment, because we have been criticised in recent years, for us overpaying for players. We obviously we paid £89 million for Pogba, £75 million for Romelu Lukaku, £50 million for Fred, £40 million for Matic, £80 million for Harry Maguire. So we are known for overpaying for players and that. But yeah, so we have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer, because our recruitment policy has been poor in the last, 6 or 7 years or so. But I think a lot of you would have watched my video yesterday that I did, and obviously I give you the couple of things what saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United, and that's obviously with the signing of Bruno Fernandes, because obviously we paid 68 million, or was it 65 million for Bruno Fernandes with add-ons included. With add-ons included. With add-ons included, we paid £65 million for Bruno Fernandes. And I've got to say, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career, and he's definitely, been making the difference in the team. Bruno Fernandes has got 3 goals and 4 assists so far. Don't forget, reflecting on his good run of performances, he won Premier League Player of the Month for February. And like I said before, Bruno Fernandes is the best player we have recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. And like I've said before, we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. But, Bruno Fernandes is very instrumental. His decision-making is very, very good. And, he revealed the other week, what convinced him to sign for Man United. And it was reflecting on the attitude of Solskjaer. So Bruno Fernandes must have a lot of faith in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. But yeah, very, very good player is Bruno Fernandes. But we did have a successful January transfer window, because we also got Odion Ighalo on deadline day. And Odion Ighalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He's got 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. I think we probably will get him on a permanent transfer, but it isn't fully assured that we're going to get him on a permanent transfer. It'll cost us around £15 million to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. And that is a cheap solution, but if Odion Ighalo had been like 4 or 5 years younger, then maybe it'd cost us a lot more than £15 million. But don't forget, we're paying like the third of his wages at the moment, and we paid around 3 or 4 million to get him on loan. But it did say the other week that Odion Ighalo's got to take like a £200,000 pay cut to, remain at Manchester United. But he's a very, very good cover-up for Marcus Rashford, like I said. And, maybe we should, probably get him on a permanent transfer. So them 2 players he brought in January have said that's one of the things that saved Solskjaer's job. And I've also got to say the 6-0 win against Tranmere earlier on this season, the FA Cup, you can say that saved Solskjaer's job, because there was rumours emerging out before that game that, Solskjaer would have been likely to be sacked if we hadn't have gotten anything off Tranmere. And that 6-0 win against Tranmere was our biggest away win since we beat Nottingham Forest 8-1 back in 1999, don't forget. So they're the things, that saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job. And you can also say other things have as well. Obviously, reflecting on our record against elite opposition this season, because we've done very, very well against elite opposition this season. We've taken like 17 points against the big 6 sides this season. Solskjaer's approach to the big games have been absolutely fantastic. Not so good, though, against lower opposition. Also, too, as well, I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well, because the young players have been given their opportunities this season. The likes of Greenwood's done well. Williams has done well. James Garner should get more opportunities next season. Chong, he should get more opportunities next season. Angel Gomez, he's seldom played this season because there's been uncertainty over his future, but should get more opportunities going on into next season and that. And there's another few things I credit Solskjaer for, because he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. We've seen a total of 9 players leave since he got recommended into the football club. And he's also, too, progressed us to the FA Cup quarter-finals. Also progressed us to the last 8 of the Europa League. And, the Europa League and the FA Cup, is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. So there's a few things, I do credit Solskjaer for. But I do believe Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows, because it is a transition period. And like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. And it's been a transition period for quite some time. But I think Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. And then if it doesn't work out, that's when I would get rid of him, definitely. And if we were to get rid of him any time within these 2 years he's got left on his contract, obviously we'd have to pay something in compensation to get rid of him. If we was to sack Solskjaer, he would be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since the Ferguson era. Because don't forget, we've already sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers. Of course, we sacked David Moyes. He endured 8 or 9 months at the football club. He endured the shortest tenure with Man United. We knew it was never going to work out under Moyes, but of course Alex Ferguson, was at the fault for ever recommending Moyes in. But the main explanation why Ferguson recommended him in is because they was both Scottish. But, he only enjoyed 89 months at the club. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Then Louis van Gaal came in after Moyes again. Didn't work out under him. He enjoyed 2 years at Man United, Van Gaal, and did win the FA Cup. And he got rid of a lot of the players, did Van Gaal, that we did have under Alex Ferguson. But he also recruited quite a lot of players in. And obviously after Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho came in. And Jose Mourinho enjoyed 2.5 years at Manchester United. He recruited a hell of a lot of players in. And like I said, he did win, 2 trophies in his first season at the club, the Europa League and the League Cup. Did Jose Mourinho. And got 2nd place, I think, in his first season. But I've already given you, the main explanations why it didn't work out under the Jose Mourinho era. Bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players. The board weren't backing the signings that I wanted to recommend in. So let's just put that into the equation. But yeah. So they're the 3 managers that have been sacked since the Alex Ferguson era. But Solskjaer does deserve time because he's still in the process of rebuilding, don't forget, because he's inheriting the vast majority of Mourinho's players. A couple of players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still Maria from the David Moyes era. I think there's only 3 players here now from the Ferguson era, and that's De Gea, Jones and Chris Smalling. And that. But yeah, he does deserve more time at the football club. Solskjaer won't replicate Ferguson's legacy. I don't think any manager will replicate Ferguson's legacy, but Ferguson, didn't settle in straight away. Don't forget he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. Did Alex Ferguson when we recommended him in from Aberdeen. But look what he went and accomplished after that 4 years of not winning anything. We had 20 odd years of success under him. Ferguson endured 26, 27 years at Manchester United, and we won around 38 trophies under his guidance. But since he left, we've only won 3 trophies, like I mentioned, but we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, and that was in Alex Ferguson's last season. So we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years, but, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world with a fantastic history. Most successful team in England, 20 titles, 13 of them Premier Leagues. But, I think within the next 2 to 3 years we can, win the league. I think we can definitely challenge next season if we can get the right calibre players in. But let's just see what happens. That's all we can basically do. Solskjaer's planning to get rid of around 5 or 6 players when the transfer market reopens as well, don't forget. I've already gone through review of the players that I think are going to leave. Paul Pogba's, unknown at the moment whether he's going to stay or go. But I think we'll definitely get rid of Jones. We'll get rid of Lingard. We'll get rid of Pereira because they're 2 liabilities. I think, we'll get rid of Rojo permanently, Smalling permanently. Sanchez, I wanted to get rid of him permanently, but I think he's going to be coming back to Manchester United because don't forget the other week it said he was refusing to take a pay cut. So probably Sanchez is coming back to the football club to see out the remainder of his contract. And Sanchez is under contract with us until 2022. But I want us to get rid of him permanently. But some people believe if we give him a second, opportunity at Man United, he will rediscover the form that he produced at Barca and Arsenal. But like his international manager said, he's enjoyed a very traumatic, torturous year. He's enjoyed a difficult time at Man United. Well, he did enjoy a difficult time with us. He's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Inter Milan since he's gone out on loan there. So there you go. But anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.